Good morning, BookTube. My name is Adrian, and welcome to the first day of the Biannual Biblothon vlog. By Lego Man. So guys, it is officially the start of the Biannual Biblothon, and it is about 9 o'clock in the morning on day 1, and I just wanted to give you guys a quick little reading update right off the bat, just so we can get this vlog started and let you know what I'm reading from the beginning. So I had intended to stay up until after midnight today and kind of film the clock ticking over to midnight, and I got distracted watching YouTube and I missed it by 2 minutes. So there is not that footage. But and then I just went to bed because I'm tired. My husband is still out of town. He gets back today, so I'm still solo with the kids. So I didn't stay up, but I did go ahead and start reading. When I woke up this morning and I started reading The Wicked Deep by Sharon Shaw. This is the group book for the readathon. I am about 33 pages into this book right now, and not a lot's happened so far. We're just kind of getting the gist of what's going on in this town and the curse that they think they have and all that. So there's not a whole lot happening yet. But yeah, I'm listening to the audiobook of this as well as following along with it, and then hopefully I can finish that today. My goal is obviously, because this is a 7-day readathon, my goal is to read a full book a day. That should be pretty realistic. I think the only time that might not be realistic is if I start reading Teardrop, because that's like a 400-some page book, and that one's kind of long. So I may have to start that one as soon as I finish another book. That way I can get it done. But we'll see. But yeah, that is my reading today. Like I said, my husband gets home today. He had to leave for the airport at 3 a.m. this morning, which is awful, but he is on his way home now, and I can't wait for him to be home because I miss him. But yeah, that is what we're doing today. We're just gonna hang out, wait for my husband to get home, and read and play with the kids. So I will check back in with you guys when I have another reading update for you. Hey guys, so it is now 5 o'clock on Saturday, and I just wanted to give you guys an update because I finished reading The Wicked Deep, and I loved it. I think I'm gonna give it 5 stars, and I say I think because I loved everything about this book, but it didn't have the perfect happy ending, which is something that I really love, but I also understand that it can't always have a perfect happy ending. So I feel like I'm going to give it 5 stars, maybe a 4.5 stars if I just can't bring myself to get over the lack of a full-blown happy ending. But I love the way it ended, so 5 stars. So now that I finished this book, I think I may move on to Teardrop by Lauren Kate. It's upstairs, so I have to go get it. But I don't know how far I'm going to be able to get into that because my husband is finally on his way home, and he should be here anytime in the next 30-ish minutes. So I don't know how much of Teardrop I'm going to be able to get to, but I'm going to try. So I will check in with you guys later on. Hey guys, so I just wanted to go ahead and film a quick vlog update. We are back at home now, and it is now Sunday, and it is like 8 o'clock at night. But I figured I should give you guys an update. I am currently in my kids' room, thus the Tommy blanket covering the window. And that cutie over there. But I have finished an entire book. I think I said yesterday I was going to start Teardrop, and I did, but I really wasn't into it. So I ended up just not reading anything because my husband came home, so we just hung out and relaxed the rest of the evening after I finished The Wicked Deep, and so I just didn't read anything. But then this morning I started listening to the audiobook of A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole, and I already finished it. I really liked it. I gave it 4 out of 5. Do you need to be heard? Anyway, I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars. Really liked it. Yeah, it didn't quite go the way I expected it to go in terms of like how the story was going to play out, but I liked the way it played out. So, yeah, that's what I read. I then tried to start Teardrop again, and I finished about the first chapter, and I don't think I can do it. I think I'm gonna have to DNF Teardrop and just find another book to fulfill that challenge in my TBR, because I just can't. I can't do it. I'm not interested. It's just not something I want to read. So I think I'm going to DNF that one and pick something else. I don't know what yet, but I will update you guys once I've picked something else. But that is my update for now. So I will see you guys here in a second with the next clip. Hello, BookTube. So it is now currently the morning of Monday. So it is the 16th. It is day 3 of the biannual Biblothon. And I wanted to give you guys a quick little update. I am working on cleaning up our bathroom right now, so I figured this was a good chance for it to be quiet for me to tell you what I read. I believe the last time I updated, I had just finished A Princess in Theory. Actually, I don't remember what the last thing I updated you guys with. I think the last thing I updated you guys with was actually Teardrop, and I DNF'd Teardrop. I decided I was done with it, I wasn't going to pick it up, and I decided I needed to pick a different book to complete the challenge of a book that's been on your TBR for over a year. And I ended up picking up the book Exclusively Yours by Shannon Stacy. This book is one I've had for multiple years. I have got it on my Nook back when I had a Nook, when that has been like 6 years ago. So I've had this book for a really, really long time. And so I decided to pick it up because I was kind of in the mood for a romance, and that's what this book is. And I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it. It was just kind of a normal book. Basically what this book is about is a woman who works for a magazine, and she is told by her boss that she has to get the exclusive interview with this author or she's going to lose her job. And the reason that she specifically has to do this is because this author makes no contact with anyone, and she happened to date him in high school. And so her boss thinks you can get this inside story, you need to go do it. And so she goes to talk to him, and he agrees to answer one question for every day that she participates in his big family camping trip, which is a 2-week-long camping trip. And it's kind of the story of them doing this and the relationship that forms between them, as well as the side stories of the family members as well. And so it's, you know, been pretty interesting, and I really did enjoy it. So this is the first book in like a companion set of novels, and I actually read the 3rd book in this first, but since they're companions it doesn't really matter. So that was the book I picked up for on your TBR for over a year. Finished that one. And so now, as I'm cleaning up my house, I decided that I'm gonna pick up another book, obviously, and so I decided I was going to pick up Pivot Point by Casey West. This I have an audiobook of, and so I can listen to it while I'm cleaning. So that's what I'm going to do now while I clean. Our house is kind of a mess. We've been gone for a week, so everything's just kind of around, and so I decided I'm going to go ahead and clean up while I have a chance, and that's the plan. So I will check back in with you guys when I have an update about my reading again. Hey BookTube, so wanted to give you guys a quick reading update. It's actually now Wednesday the 18th. I don't think I updated you guys at all yesterday, but as for what I finished reading, I have finished reading 2 books since the last time I updated you. I finished reading Pivot Point by Casey West, which I ended up giving 4 out of 5 stars. I liked the book, but it was really hard to follow, which is why I didn't give it a full 5 stars. The storyline was great. It was really interesting, but it was hard to follow because you have 2 timelines going at the exact same time, and so I just kept getting lost. I gave that 4 out of 5 stars, and that one was my predicted 5-star read. Wasn't a 5 stars, but if I wasn't confused, it probably could have been. And then I ended up picking up The Mermaid by Christina Henry, and that book I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really, really liked it. It was a little bit hard to follow just because of the language used, so I docked half a star for that, just because if I'm not following along as much, I'm not enjoying it as much. But I really did like it. And so that is what I've been reading. As of now, I have not started anything else. I was thinking I was going to pick up Jane Eyre next, but I don't know that I'm in the mood for a classic right now. So I'm going to instead start watching Anne with an E on Netflix while I clean up my kitchen. We're leaving for a trip on Friday, and so I need to have my house clean. And if you can see behind me, I don't know if you can tell, my house is a mess right now. So I'm gonna clean up while I watch Anne with an E, and then once I'm done with that, I'll decide what I want to read next. I might do Try a Chapter next, so I will keep you updated on what I decide to do next. I'll check back in with you guys later. Good morning, BookTube. So it is now Thursday, day 6 of the readathon. I wanted to give you guys a quick little reading update because I don't think I told you yesterday what I decided to read. Initially, I said I was going to clean my house, and while I was cleaning my house, kind of decide what I wanted to read. And I ended up trying to start Jane Eyre, and I got about a chapter-ish into it, and I just didn't feel like reading a classic. In order to read classics, I have to be in the right mindset, and I'm just not in the right mindset. And unfortunately, Jane Eyre was completing my challenge for the most recent book you purchased. So I decided to bend the challenge a little bit, and I decided to start reading Undeniably Yours by Shannon Stacy. This is the second book, or the companion book, to the book I read earlier this week, Exclusively Yours. This series follows a group of siblings, and each one follows a different sibling. And so I decided to read this one for the challenge of most recent book you purchased because at the beginning of this week I signed up for Audible's romance package just to see what it was, and this book, as well as its companion novels, was on there. And so in one order I got the 3 books in this series, and so I decided that I was going to bend the challenge a little bit and go with this one because technically it was the last book I picked up using the Audible package, and the Audible package was the last thing I purchased in bookish wise. So that's what I read. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I really liked it. The kind of story of this one is that Kevin Kowalski, who is the brother of the family that this series follows, ends up having a one-night stand with a girl named Beth, and even though they use protection, they do end up pregnant. And so it's kind of their story of forming a relationship. This is an adult romance novel, so there is some adult content in here, but it was a very good book. I really liked it. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars because it takes a lot for a romance novel to get a full 5 stars out of me, and then just because there's not usually a whole lot of plot going on in terms of like actual story. Like the Kiss Quotient earlier this last month got a 5 out of 5 stars for me because there was a lot of plot and a lot of development, a lot of story going on, even though it's a romance novel. But I ended up giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because it got a 4 stars initially because it didn't have a lot of, plot development, but then it ended up down at a 3.5 out of 5 stars because there were some trope things in it that I just didn't care for. But those are spoilers to tell you about, so I'm not going to do that. So that means that I have completed almost all of the challenges. The only challenge I have left to complete is the Try a Chapter challenge. And so the next thing you're going to see here is me doing Try a Chapters. And so I have these 3 books here that I'm going to try a chapter of. I have The Diabolic, The Thousandth Floor, and Only Human. And Only Human does not actually have chapters. It's told in like dossier files, and like the first dossier is 3 pages. So I'm going to instead go by page number. So The Diabolic chapter 1 ends on page 18. So I'm going to read to the end of whatever chapter page 18 takes place in here. So in that case, I will read to page 21. And then in Only Human, I will read to wherever page 18 ends, which is page 22. So that's my plan for this. I'm going to go ahead and go and sit down and read all of these. And if you saw my TBR video, you will know that whatever 2 books do not get picked for this Try a Chapter challenge will be the book that I use for my Flip a Coin challenge for Biblothon. So I'm going to go ahead and do Try a Chapter for these, and then after that, I guess I will flip a coin and film my Booktube-a-thon TBR, because this is the last thing that I need, last challenge I need to fulfill for that. So I will see you guys when I have completed these chapters and let you know which one I picked. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with The Thousandth Floor.
was when I heard that she wasn't from this world the way the rest of them were. That she...
What's wrong? Brownie.
Wait, what?
Mommy thought.
No, it's my fault.
Alright guys, so I finished reading the first little bit of the thousandth floor, and it was really interesting. There's definitely a lot of secrets going on, but you know, that's to be expected with this kind of book. I mean, it's kind of a dystopian-esque story, so it doesn't surprise me that there's going to be a lot of secrets. So I am interested in reading this one, so we will see how I feel about the other two books once I read the first chapters of those, and then we'll get to, and then we will make our final decision. So 1 book down, 2 to go. So next, I think I'm going to go with The Diabolic and read the prologue and the first chapter of this one. Alright, so I finished the prologue and the first chapter of this, and it's interesting. You just are, in the first chapters of this, you're just kind of getting the gist of the world. There's not a whole lot that's going on in terms of, you know, you're basically just dipping a toe into this kind of world. So that's that one. So far of these two, I think I'm more interested in the Thousandth Floor because there's just a lot more mystery going on in that one than there is in this one. So at the moment, the Thousandth Floor is what I'm going to go with. But we're going to go ahead and read the first 20-some pages of Only Human, and then we will check back after that. So I just finished the pages of Only Human that I had planned to read, and I do find this interesting. This book is the third and final book in a trilogy, and it's interesting, and not a lot has happened, obviously, because it's only the first little bit, but I definitely find this interesting, and this will be really quickly to fly through, so I might not pick this one up now, because I think I want to get through one of these books that are bigger and longer. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put this one off and use it for my coin flip. And so that means that I'm going to go ahead and read The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee. So this is what I'm going to go ahead and pick up for my trial chapter. And then I'm going to use Only Human and The Diabolic. I'm going to use these for my coin flip for the Biblothon. So I am going to go ahead and probably film my Biblothon TBR, and then I'm going to pick up this again and finish reading this hopefully today. Yeah, so that is my plan. I will see you guys in my next clip. Bye. Good morning, guys. So it is now, Saturday. So the readathon officially ended last night, and I wanted to give you guys a quick little update today. Or I guess not a quick little update. I want to give you guys a wrap up of my week. So we are in a hotel room because my husband and I are in Washington, D.C. We're spending the weekend here for our 5-year anniversary, and so we're just hanging out. But yesterday on the drive, it was a 12-hour drive, I read the entirety of The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee. I really liked it. I ended up giving it 3.5 out of 5 stars. There are a lot of people's stories happening all at the same time, and they all end up interweaving together really well, and I really liked that, but because there were so many people, it was hard to follow, and I don't tend to rate dystopian super high. So it was a 3.5 out of 5 stars, but I really did like it, and I plan to continue on with the series. So I'm going to give you guys a quick little wrap up of what I read this week. So as for what I read this week, the first book I finished was the group book, The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. I gave this one, I think I settled on a 5 out of 5 stars. I ended up deciding that the only thing I didn't love about it was that it didn't have the cookie cutter happy ending, but I love the ending nonetheless, so that wasn't a good reason not to give it a 5 stars. So I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and so that was the first book I read. And that was obviously the group book, so that completed that challenge. The next book I read was A Princess in Theory by Alyssa Cole. This book completed the Own Voices challenge. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Again, really liked it. It was a good kind of romance novel. The next book I read completed the challenge for On Your TBR for over a year, and for that I read Exclusively Yours by Shannon Stacy. I gave this one 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Pivot Point by Casey West. This book was the challenge predicted 5-star read. I gave it a 4-star. Wasn't a 5-star, but still great. The next book that I read was The Mermaid by Christina Henry, which I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Again, enjoyed it. After that, I read Undeniably Yours, also by Shannon Stacy. This one I gave 3 out of 5 stars as well. And then the final book I read was The Thousandth Floor by Catherine McGee, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. So, The Mermaid completed the challenge of read a book on someone else's TBR. Undeniably Yours completed the challenge for most recent book you purchased. And The Thousandth Floor completed the challenge for try a chapter. So those were the books I read. I also, on the drive, we finished that book like halfway through our drive, and so I ended up reading A Night to Surrender by Tessa Dare, which is the Sweeney Reads book club pick for this month, and I got about 100 pages into that, so I also read that. So that was my reading week. I did really well. And also Undeniably Yours, which was the 6th book I completed for the Biblothon. That book completed my Goodreads goal for the year of reading 75 books. And it's July, and I've completed my Goodreads goal, and I've actually read 76 books now, which is crazy how fast that went. So I am very impressed with myself by the rate at which I read, but I really did have a great reading week. That is all that I have for this Bibliothon vlog. Normally these vlogs do stretch the weekend, but because we are traveling, I am actually going to do a travel vlog for you guys. I don't know what day that will go up, but I'm going to do one for you guys. So that is my plan, is to do a travel vlog. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up for me. If you want to see more of my face in your subscription box, you can click subscribe down below, but subscribe is no longer good enough if you want to get notifications for when I post, so you will also have to press the little bell icon down there as well if you want to get notifications. But like I said, that is all I have for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you participated in the Bibliothon, I would love to know what all you read and how you did, and if you completed challenges. If you filmed a vlog, I would love to watch it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Have a wonderful day.